From the farmers and ranchers of Farm Bureau, this is Farm Weekend. A new report from USDA sheds light on chicken and egg production in the U.S. last year. Chad Smith takes a look at the numbers.
The USDA released its annual chicken and egg summary this week, which presents data on the number of egg layers, egg production, and the total U.S. chicken inventory as of December 1st, 2024. Barrett Nelson, an economist with the American Farm Bureau Federation, says the report gives important insights into the U.S. poultry flock.
According to this report, layers in 2024 were estimated at an average of 375 million. Now, this is down about 2% from last year. Our egg production from layers totaled 109 billion eggs, down 1%. Lastly, let's talk about the overall chicken inventory. Now, this came in at 514 million birds, down about 2% from last year.
While USDA expects a modest increase in the price of broiler chickens, egg prices have taken a much more significant jump.
Eggs have come up dramatically over the last couple of months. The average New York wholesale price for large eggs for the last week of January was $7.46 a dozen, more than 150% of where we were at $2.94 last year. The annual average price projection by USDA for eggs is now $4.44 per dozen.
The biggest factor behind the changes is highly pathogenic avian influenza. However, the current report doesn't include the birds lost so far in 2025, which means the report doesn't reflect what consumers are currently seeing at the grocery store.
The U.S. lost about 43 million birds in January and February after this report. Now, this is about 25% or a quarter of all the birds affected since the outbreak began in 2022. And this is not yet captured in this report.
For more information, go to FB.org. Chad Smith, Washington.
Campaign schools and scholarships. More on that when Farm Weekend returns.
With Kansas Farm Bureau health plans, you'll find affordable Medicare supplement coverage that helps cover certain out-of-pocket expenses Medicare doesn't cover. We encourage you to compare our rates. Contact a Farm Bureau financial services agent near you or visit KFBHealthPlans.com. Medicare supplements insured by Members Health Insurance Company, Columbia, Tennessee. Not connected with or endorsed by the U.S. or state government.
Kansas Farm Bureau's Campaign School offers comprehensive training for current office holders, future candidates, and campaign teams. A 2-day session will be held April 16th and 17th at the Overland Park Chamber of Commerce, with 7 mini sessions across the state from March to September. Gain insights on strategy, budgeting, fundraising, and voter outreach. Spots are limited. Visit www.kfb.org/campaign school for details and registration. The Kansas Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture Scholarship deadline is approaching soon. To apply, students or their parents must have an active Kansas Farm Bureau membership. Detailed guidelines in the application form are available at www.kfb.org/scholarships. The deadline to apply is March 1st. Next, Insight with Glenn Brunkow.
Frustrated with your current healthcare coverage? Kansans are saving up to 60% a month with Kansas Farm Bureau health plans. Choose from individual and family plans, short-term coverage, or dental and vision plans. It's quality coverage you can afford. Learn more and get a free quote by visiting KFBHealthPlans.com or visiting a Farm Bureau financial services agent near you.
Now, Insight with Glenn Brunkow.
Last month, I had the privilege of representing Kansas Farm Bureau at the American Farm Bureau Federation Convention in San Antonio. This year's meeting was very good, and I had many takeaways from it. However, the one I keep going back to is the same one I have each year. I'm always amazed at just how vast and different agriculture is across the country. At the annual meeting, we discussed issues brought forward from state farm bureaus about dairy, honeybees, wheat, beef, and just about every other commodity you can think of. We also talked about conservation, water, trade, the Farm Bill, and transportation. This is just a sampling of what makes the American Farm Bureau Federation the best general farm organization. We had several fascinating discussions on these topics, and the ideas and thoughts presented by the members were from many different angles. We didn't always agree, but we did come to a consensus. That rigorous journey is what makes the American Farm Bureau such a great organization. We find a way to represent everyone in agriculture, no matter what they produce, how they produce it, or where they live. We are all proud producers of the food and fiber this nation and the world need. Most of all, we love what we do.
Join us next weekend for another edition of Farm Weekend from Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture.